open up that Crystal Pepsi and get comfortable. This is Dope Nostalgia.
It feels like forever since I've recorded an episode, but it really hasn't been. It was actually the 4th anniversary podcast that we recorded live on YouTube, which is still up on our YouTube channel as well. And it feels like a long time, but hey, welcome back to Dope Nostalgia. I'm Naomi, your host. We've got some exciting new stuff in our merch shop. You can check that out at tpublic.com. The link to that is also at dopenostalgia.com under merch. So we've got some cool shirts in there. Not just Dope Nostalgia designs, but just some like funny 90s centric fun stuff that you might enjoy. You can get t-shirts, stickers, you name it. It's all in there. Check it out. We also have a brand new hotline. We ran with a hotline a while back, and I didn't get many calls on it. Maybe part of the reason of that was because of the fact that it was a local phone number. So you would be long distance if you called from anywhere else but in Edmonton, Canada. So I fixed that situation. We now have a toll-free number you can call and leave a message for the show. Not only might your message be on the show, but I love hearing your feedback. So please give us a call and request whatever you want, your favorite artists, an episode you want to hear, or just want to give us a shout out, just want to say hi, please do it. The number, 1-888-741-9192. That number again is 1-888-741-9192. I'll be running an ad for it later in the show. But now, our special guest today is from a group called The Family Stand. They did a lot of amazing stuff in the 90s, and Sandra St. Victor is here as a special guest. Here's a little bit of background information on The Family Stand.
Wikipedia moment.
Please bear in mind that Wikipedia is not to be taken as actual 100% fact. Any donkey could edit it at any time. If I'm reading you the artist's bio, that stuff is the real truth.
The Family Stand is an American soul and R&B group based in New York City, active since the late 1980s, consisting of Sandra St. Victor, Peter Lord Moreland, and V. Jeffrey Smith. Chain brought them their international hit Ghetto Heaven, which was remixed by Nelly Hooper and Jazzy B of Soul to Soul in 1990. The group's single Ghetto Heaven also reached number 10 in the UK singles chart in April 1990. At the same time, the Family Stand members were largely responsible for creating the songs on Paula Abdul's hit album Spellbound. Moon in Scorpio, the album that became their swan song, was released in 1991. Lord labeled the album The Family Stand's greatest artistic achievements. After discussion between the three and disappointment with the lack of record company support, the group decided not to record again for the label. Lead vocalist St. Victor began to launch her solo career and was replaced with Keith Sweat's former background vocalist J.C. McGee in 1995. The reformed group came out with Connected. The original trio reunited in 2006 for a concert at New York City Central Park's Summer Stage, which inspired a reunion tour and new album, 2007's Super Soul Nova. Their latest release in 2010 was a single, Story, chronicling the madness of the American justice system, where an innocent boy can easily be lost. The follow-up full-length project is entitled In 1,000 Years. In 2011, the Family Stand member V. Jeffrey Smith played bass on the song Black Hand Side on rapper Pharoah Monch's 2011 album War, We Are Renegades. In 2013, the Family Stand contributed a track to a benefit album to raise funds for Donovan Drayton's release from prison. I am very happy to present our special guest today from the Family Stand. This is Sandra St. Victor. Well, welcome to Dope Nostalgia, Sandra from the Family Stand. I'd love to hear a little bit about your point of view of when you guys got together and how that all happened.
Well, it was sort of not planned, obviously. We met and worked together as I was doing demos for them. It was another artist friend of mine, Lisa Fisher, was doing demos for them. She's a great artist, by the way, right now, doing wonderfully. But she was going to be traveling more with Luther Vandross at the time, and so she couldn't do the demos anymore. Introduced me to Peter and Jeff, and that's how we met. So we started working, and they were at the time doing demos for like Mickey Howard and Donna Allen and some other folks, I think Will Downing and that sort of thing. And I was just singing the demos for them. But then they got an offer from Atlantic Records to do a producer's album a la like Quincy Jones, where you invite different artists, different singers to sing on, your productions. So we started like that, but the click between the three of us was so good that they told the label that they just wanted it to be a group. with just me singing. So, well, as the lead singer. So yeah, that's our humble beginnings.
That's incredible. I love that.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're all still working together as well, or at least,
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Now, Ghetto Heaven was your first huge hit, from what I understand.
Correct.
And you worked with Soul to Soul.
Well,
you guys have a connection together?
Not really. I mean, it was a label connection. They wanted to do Soul to Soul was really big in the early 90s, obviously. And they wanted to do a remix on Ghetto Heaven, and that's kind of how that whole thing came about. And Jazzy B was cool people. Nelly Hopper was also great, doing a lot of the grunt work for studio sessions with Soul to Soul. So it was a cool connection. The only problem we had with it is that people always thought we were from England from that point on, and thought we were, from actually a lot of people thought we were Soul to Soul. So like, okay, no, we're not Soul to Soul, or Loose Ends for that matter.
So having to straighten out those misconceptions would have been a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it was a mess sometimes, but it was to be expected.
So tell me your thoughts and feelings behind first the album Chain, and then Moon and Scorpio. And of the two, which one are you hold you closer to your heart?
Well, Moon and Scorpio definitely, but before Chain, there was an album called Yvonne Jeffries and the Stand, which was our first thing in '88. I think we were really we were all figuring out certainly who we were individually as musicians, and as those albums came about, we're figuring out who we were as a group. So by the time we got to Moon and Scorpio, that was us. That was for us. That was the height. If you look at the progression, Yvonne Jeffries and the Stand was basically R&B, but of course with our, heavy-handed twists, but it was R&B. And then Chain, we brought in a little more of our, our rock undercurrent. And then on Moon and Scorpio, we went all the way out with the funk rock thing. And that felt like home, because I mean, performing off of all of those albums, it sort of that sort of gave us we knew who we were, because that's what happened on stage. With anything we wrote, it on stage became live. It became more rock and soul. So yeah, it was a natural progression. I love Chain. I love, actually, there are a couple of songs I really dig, like Why Does It Hurt When We Kiss and Simply Love on Yvonne Jeffries. I love those songs. And on Chain, I love Little White, Little Black Lies and Sweet Liberation, and The Last Temptation. Those are my jams forever.
Well, I'll play a couple clips from each of those albums so that people can get a taste of it.
Great. Thank you.
Especially Peach, especially Peach. She keeps it by the radio and listens to the Reverend preach. It's 10:07 and time to get some ghetto heaven. Ghetto heaven.
And then when you get to Moon and Scorpio, of course, they were producers and writers, and I was a singer at first. And Jeffrey sort of threw me in the barrel and said, "You have to write." So he made me write. I was a writer before, but I would write secretly in my house. Never. No, Jeff said you have to write. So Jeff is the reason I have a writing career. So he threw a song on me, said, "Write that and finish it. We're gonna record it." I was like, "Ah!" So by the time we got to Moon and Scorpio, I felt good about who I was as a writer, actually, enough at that point. And I was writing more. So, Shelter is on that album. Where Does Mommy Lives is on that album. We just kind of, we sort of melded together then as a group.
Yeah, and opened up a whole new facet of, creativity for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that for me was probably one of my favorite times in the studio in my whole career, recording Moon and Scorpio. Just was so freeing and so, just we felt at home.
Do you prefer, or I guess they're each different, quite different, the feeling, but do you prefer being in the studio or do you prefer being live?
I like both.
Yeah.
I like the perfection. Even though, like I said, it's freeing because I'll always be grateful to Sylvia Rowan, who's president of Atlantic at that time, for allowing us to do whatever we wanted to do in the studio. She didn't promote it at all, but she gave us the entire freedom in the studio to record what we wanted to record. And that was, that's something that a lot of artists will never be able to say because, the studios basically put in an order what kind of record we want. And that was not what she did. She gave us full autonomy. But on stage, there is, real freedom. I mean, it's not just the perfection of trying to get the vocal correct or the time of something correct. By the time you get to the stage, the vocals and all that stuff, you know that it's innate, but
yeah,
the connection with an audience and expressing that and seeing that they get it and giving you that energy back is unmatched.
Now, you played on David Letterman's show at least once.
Yeah, we did that twice. So, yeah.
Well, how was that experience for you?
It was great because, you never know what you really, well, I don't know. Some people do, obviously, but we never really got, who got us and why, because we weren't promoted. So we didn't know who our audiences were until we met them. So when we found out that Paul Schaefer was a huge Family Stand fan, we were like, what? And they're like, that's how we got on David Letterman because he said, I want the Family Stand on here. So, and then Will Lee, the bass player, also a big fan, and forget the drummer's name now, but they were all like, they loved the albums, man. They were like, we play this all the time, and David Letterman had no idea who we were. Obviously, I don't think he did, but it was just fun being able to, I've been on Letterman before with Shaka, but I'd been on Letterman with on Saturday Night Live with Shaka before, and some of the other TV shows, but like Grammys and stuff. But when it's you and your name is on the backstage door, when you are you got the access pass to the green room with your name. I mean, it's a whole nother bag of validity. It's nice. It's really nice. That was a fun experience. Real great crew, great staff, and the band was amazing.
Well, you guys are like musicians, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's such a nice, I think, compliment when people who are so talented look up and listen to your music. So
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I when I look back on those times and I see those early '90s where basically between Lisa Fisher and Brenda White King, and then of course Jeffrey Smith and Peter Lord, they really brought me into a whole new scene of the profession. So I do try to do that. I've tried to do that throughout my career for other artists and musicians, just open doors or opportunities for other cats, because otherwise they're all going to be curated by a machine or by a corporation. Let's get the real cats, the real musicians, the real artists. Show them the door. Let's show them the path, or clear a
Mhm.
path if possible. So yeah, that's how that is how it has to go to
Mhm.
keep artists being artists and not
Mhm.
products.
And growing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We always grow continually.
Yep. That's the
Yeah.
cool thing about being a musician too. You never know everything. There's
Oh
always
no,
more to learn.
definitely. Definitely. I learned from the younger cats as much as I learned from the folks, my peers, and those
Mhm.
older than me. I just there's so much to
Mhm.
learn. It's like I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't. So,
Yes. What are some other memorable performances for you?
probably you mean live shows?
Yeah.
Um, the shows that we did in New York at Tramps
Mm.
were always magical because I mean there was just I mean anytime we played in New York, it was sold out, but at Tramps it was just one of those venues, and there were always lines around the block and celebrities in the audience. I mean, I think one night we had Prince and Shaka and Eddie Murphy in the crowd. Like
Oh,
Jesus.
wow.
And there was another gig where Lenny Kravitz was backstage, like at my crouching. When I was meditating in the corner with my eyes closed, he was crouching uh, on his knee in front of me, just looking up at me. And I opened my eyes and looked down. There's Lenny Kravitz. I was like, oh, okay. So I mean, those kind of things. But another fun one was in the UK. We were opening up for KRS-One, and I think KRS-One and maybe Africa Bambaataa, Curtis Blow. No, Africa Bambaataa was Texas, but somebody it was a hip hop show,
Mm.
and at Brixton Academy, and we were opening up for them, and we were booed so hard. It was
No.
like it was insane. It was like, okay, all right, because it was a hip hop show. Who put us on this bill? They didn't want to
No.
see us. We weren't rapping, So it was just one of them gigs where I'll never
Ooh.
forget it because I had to stop my guitar player from strangling somebody who threw something at the stage. He was a black belt and did not take that very well. No.
No doubt. Oh,
Yeah, it was some fun times. Fun times.
the other side of the coin. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, no, one more fun show. I'll tell you. This one is
Mm.
fun too. There was a show, and this was in the States somewhere in the Midwest. And there were literally uh just enough people in the audience, as many people in the audience as there were songs on our set list. So I decided to dedicate one song to each person in the audience. So I came off the stage and went to each person and sang this. Say, this is
Oh,
your song, and
wow.
this is your song, and this is your song. So that was fun too. So,
What a sweet idea. I love that.
yeah, why not? That was great. There's both ends of the spectrum. There's the $50,000 person gigs and 100,000 people, festivals in Glastonbury and Pink Pop in Amsterdam. Those are also amazing. But these other ones, they hold a special place in my heart, to be honest.
I can
you know,
imagine.
you know,
Now,
yeah.
a huge album that came out in the 90s was Paula Abdul Spellbound. And
Mhm.
you had a very huge part in that.
Yeah.
How did you hook up with Paula Abdul and doing so much of the writing and production on that album.
Yeah. Well, we had a group called Aftershock who I'd actually brought to. It was a friend of mine. I brought to Pete and Jeff, and they decided to sign them to the production label, and they got them signed to Virgin, where Paula was. And Paula loved Aftershock, and then she found out who produced it, and she loved our music as well. Invited us to a party, I think a birthday party at our house. And Peter was just, it was a big grand piano there. So he started playing and singing, and that was it for her. She wanted us to produce a song on her record. So we started with a song, and it just turned into, the majority of the album.
Yeah.
Including we actually did the studio sessions for the Prince song that he wrote because he didn't want to do it. So it was good sessions because she was dealing with folks saying that she couldn't sing and all that kind of stuff. She had something to prove, and so we gave her some meat to chew on.
Yeah, no, that is true. I know that she had a hard time with that, but the songs are so amazing. Like,
thank you.
What's one of your favorites that you contributed?
Vibology, no, hands down. I love that song. I love that song.
It was so unique.
Yeah.
And I just love all the melding of genres and everything that's happening on that tune. It's so great.
I know, right? I got to do my classical operatic Parliament thing in the middle of that song, which I was so happy. I was thrilled about.
I love it. That's the part in my head right now that I was like, you're talking about it.
Yes, that's the piece. I was like, oh, can I do something? Hold on, let me go in. And I just went in and sang, from top to bottom, opera to George Clinton. It was fun. It was fun.
That V-I-V-E-ology, your body is calm next to me. You got that sensuality. You know I love what you do when you do what you do. You got me calm in the groove when you move. I'm in a funky way. I'm in a funky way. I'm in a funky way. Party hard. Vibology. We'll be right back.
Hi. If you enjoy Dope Nostalgia, thank you. Consider becoming a Patreon subscriber today for as little as $1 a month. It helps keep the show on the air and rolling. So if you want to check out our Patreon, it's at patreon.com/dope nostalgia. $1 a month, and you'll be helping support one of your favorite podcasts.
Hi, we're 4 p.m., and this is Dope Nostalgia.
Hey friends, I kind of miss getting those messages on my answering machine like we used to back in the day. What I'd really love is to hear from you, the listeners of Dope Nostalgia. This is your chance to be on the show, giving feedback, telling us what you love, what you hate, and who you'd like to see more of. Call us at our new toll-free number, 1-888-741-9192. Leave us some feedback. Your message could be played on the show. So give us a call, 1-888-741-9192. Toll free.
Yo, this is Mars Blackman, and this is my main man, Michael Jordan, and this is a pair of tight Air Jordans from Nike. This is something you can buy, and this is a patented, vicious, high-flying 360 slam dunk. This is something you cannot do. Let me repeat myself. This you can buy. You cannot do this. Can. No!
Now, at the time in the mid 90s, you left the group, right? What were you doing during that time?
Yeah, I didn't necessarily leave the group. We as a group decided not to do another record for the label because, we wanted to kill that deal, and we did. So it sort of worked out like that, and I with a seriously heavy heart and crying my eyes out, I agree. They really told me, you have to do a solo record. Like, I want to do a solo record. So they talked me into it, and we did it, and they produced the album and for Elektra, and then the guy that signed me at Elektra stepped down, and then Sylvia Royne from Atlantic came over and dropped me. So that's basically what. Yeah, it was a crazy story. Yeah, so he signed me over there, and we spent like almost $1 million on the record and photo shoot, and then she replaced him and dropped me. So it's like, haha, I got you. I don't think she thought that, but it felt that way, of course.
Oh my goodness. That would have been a difficult time. Did that album ever see the light of day?
Yeah, it's on my Bandcamp right now.
Good.
Hell yes, it's on my Bandcamp.
Good, then we can share it.
Yeah. Yes.
And then reuniting, like everything coming back together in 2006 and recording Super Soul Nova.
Right. Well, in between that, of course, I did put out 2 solo albums, one on Warner Brothers and then one on Expansion and independently. So the Mac Divas Save the World album was on Warner Brothers in 96.
Yeah.
And had some nice placements, did the soundtrack for Living Single, and on the a thin line between Love and Hate soundtrack with Martin Lawrence and Lynn Whitfield. I mean, it has some nice placements. Then Jim and I, Both Sides, which that seems to be a lot of people's favorite album of mine, which is odd because I did basically do that one independently. And then I did Oya's Daughter in 2013.
Okay.
And that was on Shawnee. But yes, the Family Stand did get back together and recording, and we did Super Soul Nova. I think we had 2000. Something's always a catalyst for us deciding to record again. I think at that time, 2007. I think what had happened then was that I forget, something happened, made us do an album. Oh yeah, we did some shows in Europe, and we did some festivals, and we were like, okay, let's record an album. So we did that. And then the next time we did another release was 2010, I believe. And that was because we had been asked to perform at a fundraiser for then Senator Barack Obama at Bleu Poisson Rouge with Living Color. And we said, okay, let's do an album. So we did another album then, and that one was called In 1,000 Years.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you have a wealth of solo material out there too for your fans. That's wonderful.
Absolutely. Because I mean, there are different sides of my personality that I can highlight when it's just me, obviously.
And do you do a lot of the writing yourself now that you've?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes. Oh yeah. I learned my lesson well. Thanks, Jeffrey.
I'm curious to know more about the Daughters of Soul. And the
Yeah,
concert for Bill, and yeah, you did a concert for Bill Withers, correct?
right, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Daughters of Soul was something I thought of before I moved to Europe. Actually, I'd been talking um, to a friend, Sarah Hill, about doing something with, background singers, some sort of back to front thing. We were thinking. But when I moved to Europe, I started thinking about who I would want to get, for the shows. And as I was thinking, um, something else started formulating, and it was that, these the sisters who could really sing, like Layla Hathaway and
Mm.
and Indira Khan, and I didn't know Nina Simone's daughter, but Lisa Simone.
Mhm.
Let's put a show together with these daughters of these soul icons. Oh, I can call it Daughters of Soul, So
Yeah.
it sort of came up like that, and then I rounded it off with the spiritual daughters, who would be Nona Hendricks of the Bell, Joyce Kennedy of Mother's Finest, and me from Family Stand. So we brought my Rocky edge in.
Yeah.
So we had the youngins and the vets. Then I did mixed duet kind of groupings, and it was a very interesting, amazing over 2 hour show that was kept people on their feet for hours, all over Europe for several of the festival seasons. So it was for several years of festival seasons.
Mm.
It was great. It was really great. And we also brought in, I used, later I brought in Leah McRae, who's the daughter of, I can never think of this woman's name, the rocking chair dude. And anyway, she had two parents who are soul pioneers. So look that up. They're great. They both
Okay.
had big hits. Leah McRae and her parents, something McRae and something McRae.
Okay.
Gwen McRae is the mother's name, and the father is something McRae. And we brought Denise Williams in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was awesome. A Gemini sister, and Karen Wheeler from Soul to Soul, who brought her in as well. Yeah. So we
Was
had
it
some.
all,
Say it again.
sorry, was it all shows in Europe, or did you get to do some in North America as
All
well?
in Europe. All in Europe. All in Europe. America did not offer. They couldn't afford it, or they didn't want to pay for it. And I thought it'd be such a great show for like Essence Music Festival or something like that. But I couldn't get them. But you can't ask them girls all that big a group of people to come over for crumbs.
Yeah.
And so the festivals would pay for it in Europe, and so that's what we did.
Europe has a deeper appreciation
Absolutely, and
for music.
from music. And what the main thing is that artists who are not in like on the top surface of your eye view here in America are basically kind of discarded and pushed to the side. We like the freshest, newest. We want to be up on the latest and the great. And so artists that have put in the years, who put in the time, who gave love and music and contributed to memories and all that kind of stuff, they're sort of they're really discarded. And I think that's a sad thing, because in Europe, man, the you can have an entire, that's also changing, but you certainly could have, and still can to a certain degree, have a whole nother career for as an American artist. That's that's sorely underappreciated in their own home country. That's a pity. So it's a huge pity, really is, because I think our kids miss out. Our kids don't get to see the cats that they should see, because the parents don't even appreciate them anymore. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, North America seems very focused on trends and fads and what's hot in the
Trends and
moment.
fads. Exactly.
And those things burn out fast. So it's hard to see what a real legend is anymore.
Exactly. They call everybody a legend. So everybody a legend. You got a TikTok follow. They're a legend. Oh, okay. All right. How long they
I
been
don't
out
even
there?
know.
I don't know. I
They
don't
have
even
like
know.
I I know this sounds like a silly thing to say, but I don't know who the YouTube stars are. I have no
I
idea.
don't either. I don't either. I have no clue. Sometimes I ask my daughter, I have a grown daughter here in America, and I have two. They're all grown now, but they're a 20-year-old and 18-year-old in the Netherlands, and they certainly don't know. But my grown daughter over here don't even know. She's like, I don't know these people. So like, I guess you have to be of that, either someone who really cares about paying attention and keeping up with that,
Mhm.
or of a certain age where it's just in your face at school all day or something. But I
Mhm.
don't, I don't, I no, just no.
I'm up here in Canada, and it's honestly so similar. Like how we basically follow the US's lead.
Yeah, see, that's unfortunate. And and,
Mhm.
and the rest of the world, as I said, Europe as well is trying to do that. So um, where when Nina Simone went to Europe, and when Diane Reeves went to Europe, and when Dee Dee Bridgewater went to Europe, and even she was going far back when Josephine Baker went to Europe. I mean, you could they ate them up, because that's an access that they didn't have. But with um, the world being smaller because of the internet and email and all that sort of Zoom or video chats, the access has opened up. So
Mhm.
people are more aware of what's happening in America, and they want to emulate that. And I think some things just, I wish some of those things were not, people didn't try to, other countries and continents did not try to emulate the style of disposable art or
Mm.
disposable,
Yeah,
disposable people. That's an unfortunate trend to pass on.
that's a song to write
It is,
right
isn't
there.
it? May sound a little bitter though, so I probably shouldn't
Adds therapy.
write it
Yeah,
for myself.
I'm happy that you shared the brand new song with Marcus Machado with me.
Yeah, man, that guy's so
Bittersweet.
talented. Yes, yes, he's amazing. I love Marcus Machado. He's doing so well. Too, he's one of those kids I'm talking about. Somebody I really want to see. So
Mhm.
um, he started out. He lived in Florida, and Jeff found him at some session, and started putting him on family stand gigs. And then when I moved to Europe, Marcus moved to Europe, and I took him out with me on my shows, and came
Mhm.
back, and he was playing here. So he just really, and he's got a major following now, and is doing great. Um, so I want to see him get his due. He's a musician's musician, but
Yes.
he's got that ear for the streets. He's got that ear for, and it's quality. It's not just, garbled googly gop, so,
Yeah.
so I really dig what he's doing.
Have you done more tracks together? Is it just
Yeah, we
the
have. No, we did a song called Reset Me Free. Um, that's the only other song we released.
Mhm.
But we used to do shows just as a duo with he and I in traveling in Europe.
Mm.
Um, these duo gigs was so much fun because we could just like, what you want to do now? Okay, let's do this. What you know?
Mm.
Um, but yeah, the so it's Bittersweet and what am I talking about? And Code Black.
Yeah.
So there's 3 songs we've recorded and released. So yeah, Bittersweet, Code Black, and Reset Me Free.
Okay. And Bittersweet's the latest.
Yes, yes,
All
yeah.
right. We can play a track. We'll play a clip of that song too.
Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I'll let
Yeah.
him know.
Yeah, it's been a little rough, but I just just wanna thank you, sister. Yeah, kinda been a rough ride. Woke up on the wrong side in the battle for our lives. My girls forming armies, yeah, men standing on me, yeah, side by side, yeah, 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 yeah. Time's up on that okie doke. Folks be like we're staying woke, sleeping when we die. This ain't 1984, ain't taking mess no more. Raising the hood on them boom boom booms. Sister, I thank you for what you done and what we are. Yeah. This is sweet, full of the seeds, the power of seed. Bitter seed, sweetness is me, warrior of me.
Where are you based out of nowadays?
I am in the Netherlands right now. I'm in Texas with my oldest daughter that I mentioned
wow.
earlier. Yeah, but I'm based out of the Netherlands, um, where I'm married to a Dutch man, and we have two girls together.
Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So nice being here with my firstborn.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's nice to be able to travel a bit too, for sure.
Oh, I travel too much, girl. Listen, I've been told you need to calm down. That's my our oldest daughter told me.
It starts to wear on you, I suppose. But yeah.
Well, I know, I love it. It's not wearing on me.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Hey, and
no.
after having 2 years where we couldn't go anywhere, I would embrace it.
Oh, listen, that's probably part of it, is
Mhm.
being on lockdown was like, oh my God, that was the first time I didn't, it was the first time that I can remember my adult life that probably a
Mhm.
lot of people that wasn't able to rock and roll. So it was difficult. But I was in New York at the time when the lockdown first hit and had to just stay there for 3 months. But
Oh,
being in New York on lockdown, so it wasn't like I got to do much other than,
yeah.
be in the same time zone with my compadres.
I guess that helps. Yeah.
It does. It is. We could talk more and, you know, video chat and hang out
Where,
and do group parties and,
yeah,
we
where we
did a
learned how to use this thing called Zoom.
Zoom for first time I heard about it. I don't know if it's is that when it came out because it's the first time I heard about it. It
Actually,
was 2020.
I don't know when it came out, but I had just learned about it because I was just starting to put this show together and I was
Uh,
trying to find something besides Skype to use that would be really
okay.
good for
Yeah.
recording interviews.
Yep. Yep.
So I
Yeah.
did some research on Zoom and had a walkthrough with one of the people who work for Zoom and
Okay.
said, okay, I'll try it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they blew up.
They sure did, man. Well, it was perfect timing for them. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, absolutely. You do a lot of. I was looking at your Facebook page. I'm turning the tables on you, interviewing you now.
Ooh.
You do a lot. You do a lot of. You have a New Kids on the Block sort of group, or is that what is that?
Oh yeah, well there's a big group of us and content creators as well that
Yeah,
get together for a lot of New Kids on the Block events.
yeah. Okay.
So it's brought a lot of listeners to the program as well. So
Yeah, it looked fun. I was just going through the page. I was like, oh, why they look like they have
yeah.
a block.
Yeah, they do a cruise every year. They've done 13 of them now.
Okay.
So we go on that and we go check out the tours and everything. So yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Dope. Dope. Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Few like-minded people getting together.
Yeah, it's funny. You can bring a real cool group of friends together when you enjoy some of the same things. So
Right, right. Yeah, I think that's what I like about it.
for
You
sure.
you
What's a
know,
group? What's a group you'd go travel to see, or an artist?
mm, it's hard. That's
There's
really
so
hard.
many.
What I know, it's almost like who would I travel to go see? I wait till they travel to my city, and then if I know them, I call them and say I'm coming. And then
Hmm.
because um, I almost, I guess, because for me, like I don't have as much fun going to concerts as other people. Sadly, I used to, but because I'm there being not being critical, but
Hmm.
almost a work environment. So I'm checking out the production and the sound and
Yeah.
seeing what mix of audience they got. And I wish
Yeah.
I could go and just enjoy it, but I go when they're friends of mine that I haven't seen and I want to hang out. We hang out afterwards after the show. You know what I mean? Or hang out before the show or
Hmm.
um so that's really kind of the only time I've gone to concerts in the last certainly 15 years. I don't think I've been to a concert that I didn't know the people performing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's really wild. I haven't thought about that. No, I've not been to a show that wasn't of a friend in years. So,
I'm happy you're performing. I'm happy you're recording. What's
yeah.
going on for you in the near future that people can check out?
Well, right now I'm gonna really help Marcus promote this project. That's what we're doing at the moment.
Mhm.
But for 2024, I have some recordings that I did with the producer in LA called Beautifully Dark. The producer is Mark Batson. He's an amazing, prolific producer.
Hmm.
Um, and we have some recording. I really want to finish these recordings, and I need to get out to LA to do that, and because he wants to release it next year. So
Hmm.
that's kind of it has to be a focus of the upcoming year because we just haven't been able to do it um,
Hmm.
in the timely fashion that we wanted to. So we started it and got stopped by this and that. Again, he's so freaking busy,
Hmm.
and he's in LA and I'm in the Netherlands. So
Yeah.
it's drawn out, but he really wants to put it out in 24. So we're gonna try to make that happen. So that's kind of my focus. Other than continuing my travels, and I want to do some more travels in Africa and South America and do some concerts and master classes and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's exciting. You should. Oh, I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I really enjoy um, being in Africa and also in Suriname in South America. I love being there. I really do. So mixing it with work is how you get there. So
Allowing yourself to see the world this way is just brilliant.
exactly, exactly,
Because
exactly.
I feel when people are young and new in their music career and they're on tour all the time, they get to travel places but don't really get to take it in because there's too
No,
much else going on.
exactly. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
what I did in my younger days. I went everywhere and saw nothing.
Yep. Just the inside of four walls.
Yep, I saw the hotel, the venue, the tour bus, the airport.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. If I had time, maybe a little shopping, but not
Right.
really. Not really.
I'm happy to hear that you're getting to see the world. It's a beautiful, beautiful
Yes.
thing. And
Thank
and
you.
thank you for sharing your amazing music with us and your stories today about I'm so happy to have gotten to know you, Sandra. Thank you.
You too, Naomi. Thanks for reaching out and let me know when it's going up.
I
And
will.
I'll
I'll tag you and
okay.
everything. I'll shoot you an
Yeah.
email the week of.
Not a problem. Have a good holiday, okay?
Same to you. You take
All
care.
right.
Bye.
Bye.
With every heartache, we've traveled so far. Every dark night has a day.
tear's sake, we follow a star to the shelter of our love. Loneliness fades and happiness invades me. With you in my life, you're the way to my serenity. So undaunted, you and I have amended our schemes and flights. The situation is gonna steer us away from our eternity. With every heartache, we've traveled so far. Every dark night has a day. For every tear's sake, we follow a star to the shelter of our love.
Social media, yeah, we've got it. Send us an email, dopenostalgiapodcast@gmail.com. Twitter, Nostalgia Dope. Or on Insta, dope_nostalgia.
This podcast is licensed by SOCAN because we believe that artists should be paid for their work.